Paula, I'm really, really, really so happy to reconnect with you today for She Can. Tell us a little about yourself and what you do.
Well, thank you so much for having me on this. I'm really intrigued and admire your new venture. It sounds extremely exciting. So I'm Paula Goodburn, and I run a creative fabric design collective called Porcupine Rocks. I work with textile designers based in South Africa and market and distribute their colourful creations here in the UK.
I love it. I've been watching your journey with Porcupine Rocks for so long, Paula. Tell us a little how you got to where you are today.
Well, it's been a very rocky road. I was born in South Africa, so hence the connection with the business and South Africa. I was born in South Africa and I grew up in a very creative environment. I traveled extensively and went to film school in New York. And from there, I made food and travel programs for about a decade and loved that industry. It really is a buzzing industry, although the burnout is quite high. I decided after about a decade working in TV that I should retrain and reconnect with a different creative path. So I went to Central St. Martin's and I did a jewelry course there, which was really, really enlightening and actually more informative than my degree that I did at Newcastle University. I learned so much about running a business, getting hands-on, being creative, and actually it gave me the confidence to go, okay, I can do this. I can stand on my own 2 feet and go out into the world and develop my own brand. So I set up Porcupine Rocks. So that was originally a jewelry business, which I made one-off sort of statement pieces, costume jewelry for Paul Smith, Liberty, Oliver Bonus, Shop at the Bluebird. I had a really lovely reach of shops in London, it was super fun and super colourful. But then I felt like that sort of served a purpose at that time in my life. Then I started having children, which was also a whole nother exciting project. And I decided that I didn't want to be on my own in a business, and I wanted to be part, because I am a real team player. So I wanted to move back out into the world and be part of a team. So I began consulting, and I helped other small businesses set up their products and their branding. And that was really insightful for me because it was very nice to help other people, but also whilst I was helping them, I was also learning a lot, and it was very dynamic. And that brought me back to returning to my own venture in 2013. And it was at that time that you and I met. So as you know, at that point, Porcupine Rocks was a design house selling beautifully handcrafted objects for the home. And everything was handmade in South Africa. And we also had a little sideshow of fabrics. And the business has grown from then, and I've refined it. And now we completely concentrate on selling fabrics by the meter. So, Steph, as you can see, I've reinvented myself a few times over the years. It is hard, as I'm sure you appreciate, to get things right the first time round. And life does throw in hand grenades. And the last 6 years has seen me, on a personal level, fight 2 cancers. And obviously a year of COVID hasn't helped business at all. But I'm a real strong believer that if you can continue to flourish and grow through adversity, you can survive life, and especially in business. To be honest with you, I still don't think I've got it quite right. Time will tell, but I have survived the challenges that have happened, and I'm here today. So there's lots more to come.
I love that. Thank you so much, Paula, for describing your journey, which is really an inspirational journey. Paula, tell us what motivates you. What motivates you? Which direction do you think you're going to go in?
So this is a great question. And I think when you run a business, it's a really sensible question to keep asking yourself, because it brings you back to the core. And ultimately, what motivates me is the pursuit of happiness. The desire to live life well and in balance is so big for me right now. My family and my friends mean the world to me. I mean, absolute, up there, paramount importance. But I am an individual that needs a creative purpose. So I'm motivated to keep my journey enriched creatively within a commercial venture. So it's about balancing it all. It's tricky, but we can do it. It's totally possible.
Oh, Paula, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Paula, what do you think is your superpower in all of this incredible resilience that you have?
Yeah, resilience is, I think you develop that over time for whatever reason. The superpower is a great question. I wish we could all swan around in capes with our knickers on the outside and really sort of be Wonder Women, sort of openly out in the world. So I really had to think hard about this one. And the superpower, I think I have a raw energy that keeps me curious. And fundamentally, I am not afraid of change. So whether it's change that's been thrust upon me, like 6 years of wrestling with cancer treatment, or a mega uncontrolled economic shift that affects us all, I deal with it head on, I turn it into a positive, and I make the most of it. And I think that is what has really helped me just get through and build that resilience. So
Amazing.
That's my superpower. Do they have pants for that?
You got the mega pants for that. Paula, what would your top tips be for other women? Maybe women that go through what you had to go through.
Well, maintain your integrity. Don't get distracted by the noise around you. A great girlfriend of mine introduced me to an expression, which is their monkeys, their circus. So lots of people come into the mix and give you advice and say, oh, why did you do this? And why didn't you do that? And it's their advice is really valid, yes, but do what's right for you and trust your gut and really believe in yourself. And above all, embrace change. Don't be scared of it. Don't let it frighten you. Don't let it take over your life. Just embrace it.
I mean, have you been scared, Paula? You sound so, unbelievably strong and radiant, and just this force is coming through, which is amazing. There's no fear.
It's yes, I have been scared. I've been terrified. There have been times previously in my life where I just thought I was really fretting about business and going, oh, can this work? Can I make money? Can I, what if I fail? And there were so many times that I did feel like I have failed because I haven't achieved in this area. And I think having cancer literally punched that away from me, because it all seemed sort of irrelevant when you're faced with potential, well, a life-changing situation, and really faced with questioning death, or death was questioning me. So yes, there were times, certainly last year in my darkest of hours, when I was really, really ill, that I was absolutely petrified. I'm scared for not being here, scared for my family, scared for the kids not growing up with a mother. But I can't let that rule my life. And so the way I operate now is I'm very conscious of living life fearlessly. And really, and I guess that's a sort of another motivation in my world, is just to try and shift the scaremongering aside and embrace what lies ahead.
Amazing, Paula. Thank you for sharing that. Paula, what are your plans or dreams for your future?
Oh, I have so many dreams. Plans. So immediately, I'm taking the summer off. I'm taking the summer off to recharge and rebalance, because going back to normal would just be a betrayal of the future. So I'm just going to regroup over the summer. Mid-term, I will reassess how Porcupine Rocks sits in the world of interiors and within the world as we know it, because we're living in a post-COVID world. We have there's all this chat about global cost of living crisis. There's stuff beyond our control. So professionally, I'm going to realign and grow Porcupine Rocks brand to embrace this change. And then long term, I intend to live a long and happy life full of adventures with my family and my friends. So that's what I'm aiming for in the long term.
Amazing. Paula, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.